Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about for bikini competitions for beginners. So I just want to a little bit tell you how I got interested in the sport, how I got started basically, and all that jazz, and then we will get into the other steps you need to take. So I got inspired because I followed a girl on Instagram. I knew nothing of the sport. I didn't even know it existed, pretty much. I mean, I knew of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I didn't know anything about the sport or really what it was about or anything. So I followed a girl on Instagram and she did figure competitions. And I kind of wasn't always interested in the figure. I really loved watching her like transformation and getting up to the stage and doing all that. But when it came down to it, I wasn't always like, I didn't want to do figure. But then I found a girl who did bikini competition, or she was in the bikini category, and I loved it. I just fell in love with it. I loved watching her transformation. I probably sound like a huge creep right now, but I loved watching her, and I loved like seeing the video. I love the suit, I love the posing, and I don't know, I just totally fell in love with it. I was so inspired that I wanted to do one myself. So here are a few steps to take if you are considering doing one yourself. So number one step is you first want to ask yourself why. Why are you doing this competition, or why do you think you want to do one? I really want you to sit down with yourself and talk about it, maybe with your friends and family, or someone who's already done it. Ask yourself, why do you want to do it? Do you want to do it for a social recognition? Do you want, which I don't recommend doing it if that's why. Do you want to do it for a total body transformation? That's another reason why I do not recommend doing it, because you will get stage lean and it'll be hard to walk away from seeing your body that way. If you're wanting to do a total body transformation, I do not recommend I do not recommend competitions. I recommend you finding yourself, being happy with your body first, and then if you are wanting to take the plunge, take the challenge, if you're doing it because you like the sport, you want to do it for a challenge, then do it. But just remember that the body that you achieve through the competition is not attainable. It is not something that you can stick with year round. It is a body that you work for a weekend to be on stage. That's it. So totally ask yourself why. Kind of really throw that idea around and think about it first. Give yourself some time to decide why you want to do the competition. So number two is, can you afford a competition? Competitions are pricey. They can be really expensive depending on everything that you get and you do. There are ways to make it cheaper, but it can be a really expensive sport. I mean, just to go over a few of the pricing with you, is you first, if you hire a coach, you have to pay for a coach. You have to pay for the federation or association fee. That's just to say you can compete in that federation. And then you have to pay for the competition, and then you have to pay for your suit, you have to pay for your heels, you have to pay for tanning the day of, you have to, if you get hair and makeup done, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for your gym membership leading up to that. You have to pay for supplements if you take any supplements leading up to that. There's just so many different things that add up that it can get pricey. It can get very pricey, but there are ways to make it a little cheaper. When I did my first competition, I saved up for it. I had an idea of how expensive it was. I knew it was coming up, so I worked really hard. I was bartending at the time, and I saved up like so much of my tips. I worked my butt off because I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew that it was a very pricey thing to do. So number two is to ask yourself if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't put yourself in debt just to do a competition. I really do not believe that it's worth it. So I'm going to kind of run two together because I feel like they play hand in hand of each other. Is I want you to attend a few shows. Go and check them out. See if it's something that you're interested in. Usually when people want to do a show, they see pictures and things like that, but they don't see the whole shenanigans that goes on. So attend a show and see if it's something you really are interested in. That's my biggest recommendation, is see if it's really what you want to do. And then also with attending shows, pick a few different federations to attend, because you have to pick a federation to compete in, and the best way to know what you want to compete in is to attend a few different ones. See, you may attend a show and be like, no, it's not, I'm not interested, that's not what I want to do. Or you may attend a show and be like, that's it, that's what I want to do. And so different federations are kind of run differently and have different rules and regulations. So that's another thing to check, is go on their website, check out their rules and regulations, and make sure your goals align with what their federation is all about. Okay, picking a coach can be a little tricky because you don't want to just hire some Joe Schmo that you found and you're unsure of. You want to make sure before handing them any money, before doing anything, sending them a check or paying them through PayPal, however you want to give them money, that you trust them, that they align with your goals. You have to be careful because there are coaches out there that are just going to accept your money and they're going to run with it. They will run your metabolism into the ground. In my opinion, there's some out there that are not very good coaches at all. So really do your research. Check on the people that you're about to entrust your health with. Make sure that, you know, they either are doing, like, if it fits your macros, if you do that, they do that, you know, because you may hire a coach and be like, well, I can't do this meal plan. Like, I don't do meal plans. So for me, I don't do meal plans. I can't. I will fall off the wagon. So I know I need to find a coach who will work with me with if it fits your macros. And also, so just ask questions. Ask them a ton of questions, you know. Send them, or if you meet with them in person, write them all down before you come in. Or if you are talking to them online, go ahead and send them a long email of questions. And maybe even ask for client recommendations, as in, like, you can go and talk to their clients and say, hey, you know, how do you feel? Or even talk to people who have worked with them in the past, because some people who are with them right now might be very biased and be like, oh, he's great, he or she, they're great, and, you know, but then they're working with them. So ask people maybe who, say, if you have any past clients that you're not working with anymore that I can talk to, because then they won't feel the need to kind of like always like boost them up if they didn't believe that they were a very good coach. You know what I'm saying? So if they're a good coach, they will not mind answering your questions because they will understand that you are entrusting your health with them. So go ahead, ask those questions, and if they make you feel uncomfortable because you are asking them, they're not a good coach. Walk away, find somebody else. So there's a few of ones that I'm going to bunch together again because they all kind of play hand in hand, and they'll just be quick this way. Shoes. They're pretty much just clear stripper heels, to be honest. That's what they are. There's different places that you can get them bedazzled or things like that, but that's pretty much clear heels. I can link a few places down below that you can kind of take a look. They're not that expensive. I think I paid like 30 bucks for mine. The next thing is suit. Suits can get anywhere from like 70 bucks to like over $1,000. Seriously. They can be very expensive, depending if you're bikini or figure. Figures, I believe, are more expensive depending on, you know, how crazy wild you want it to get. I will link a few different bikini places down below so you can take a look and decide if that's something that you'd be interested in, any of those places, but there are a ton. So if any I link you're not interested in, there are more. Just gotta search, do Google. That will be seriously your best friend. Then a posing coach. A posing coach I totally recommend. And if you've hired a normal coach, they either have posing or they will have someone that they recommend for posing. But if not, if you have not hired a coach, that is the one thing I seriously will recommend you getting, is a posing coach. That's the last thing you want to do, is be up on stage and be like, oh, what the hell am I doing? What do I do? How do I turn? Do I look good? Like, you don't want to put in all of that work to not showcase it on stage the proper way. And by the proper way, I mean is one girl may pose one way and that does not look good on the next, because we are all different. Our body structure is different. So you really want to work with someone who's going to be like, yeah, that pose isn't for you, so let's do something else. And that way they can take a look at your body. And if you're a posing coach, they're usually experienced and they know what the judges are looking for. So I really recommend hiring a posing coach. And if you can't afford that, then tons of YouTube videos. Watch YouTube over and over and over again. Record yourself, watch yourself, and then you can just see for yourself, like, oh, this is my best pose or whatever. But you have to remember, when you're doing that, the judges will be down low and in the middle. So if you are on either side, you want your best form, like, or your best look facing them. Or, you know, if you're in the front, you want to make sure you're facing them. You always want to face the judges. They will be in front and down low. So Don't do it as in if they're looking straight on. You want to kind of do it from down low. So that is my recommendation for shoes, suit, posing. So that's all that I have for you guys for today. If this video was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up. I will also make sure that I link as much as I can in the description box, and it will all for sure be on my website, thatfitmom.com, in a blog post. I will link everything for you to kind of like scroll around, check out, and click the links and see if there is anything on there that you could help be of use for you guys. So other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.